Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 529 for the week of January 3rd, 2022. Already starting off with a wonderful, wonderful podcast, and I've already forgotten the date 3 days in. My name is Ryan Higgins.
You got the year right.
I did, 2022. I don't have to sign checks anymore, so it's very rare that I have to write the date.
Why do I keep moving that binder at work?
Yeah, I'm going to find a better spot for that. It's like every couple of months I have to write a check. My name's Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin.
And Scott.
And. Hey, dog.
Your dogs.
Right on.
And my dogs. And someone else.
Lane. eBay guy.
Oh, there's Lane. Lane's here. Where Charlie might jump in. He's recording Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension tonight. They wrapped up Doctor Who new season. But if not, we actually part of this will continue in a week or two. Anyway, we had some end of year reporting stuff that was not functioning properly, so I'm not going to get it on this podcast, but we can deal with that later. This is our end of 2021 wrap up episode. We're going to recap a bunch of stuff, talk about our favorite comics and comic movies and TV shows through the year, random stuff we've picked up, kind of nice little recap to the year. Before we start, though, every year for the last couple, Kevin Sharp has polled the audience with a question at the beginning of the year.
I believe we're going on year 3 of this because I know Saga rode for...
It's at least 3 or 4.
Yeah,
it's been a couple of years.
Saga rode for a while. Do we count this past one because it was solicited?
Oh, well, yes. Hold on. So, every year, Kevin has a list of things that are unlikely to happen. However, you must choose the most likely to happen. And the best ones stay on the list till they happen or until they're like, never going to, officially like done. So, Saga Returning had been on the list multiple years in a row.
Yep.
And while it is not out yet, it is due out by the end of this month. We've ordered it. It's been solicited. Multiple issues are in previews catalog. I am pretty confident that Saga is actually happening in January 2022. So Saga, a regular winner, I believe.
It's won more than 1 year, I believe.
Yeah.
And Snyder Cut.
It's Snyder Cut. It did actually happen, right? Yep. We'll talk about that in a few minutes here. But Saga.
Was that this year?
Yep.
It was this year.
No, wasn't it? It was
another
December.
one on my list.
Wasn't it December 21?
No.
20?
No.
It was this
Snyder
year.
Cut was
No,
in
it was like March or something like that.
Yeah, it was like March of 2021.
Jeez.
Yeah, go. I'll see if I have the date here. I think it got announced in December as like officially happening.
That must be.
Yeah. So Saga is returning. So Kevin put up his poll on Twitter. If you go to that Kevin Sharp on Twitter, you can check out the poll for 2022.
Did you pin it, Kevin?
I did not pin it, but you could probably find it easier on my feed because I only tweeted that today, whereas Ryan probably has 23 things.
Well, my New Year's resolution is to tweet more. So and more political tweets, Scott. So just so you know, that is my New Year's.
Oh,
resolution.
you live streamed the reading of Nunez's resignation letter, didn't you?
There you go. Kevin, why don't you let us know what your picks for the most unlikely things to happen in 2022, and we will all choose one here.
All right. Well, so for listeners, the poll is – I left the poll open for this week so we can talk about the results on next week's show. So if you're interested in voting, do it this week. So here are the choices. Movies and TV, there is the legendary, possibly exists, possibly doesn't anymore, David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad.
I believe, was this on last year's too?
Yes.
I think, right? Yeah. Right. So much in line with the Snyder cut of Justice League, there is believed to be a much different cut of Suicide Squad out there. And the fans are demanding it.
Yes.
I think it's pretty unlikely, but
well, they're all unlikely. That's the premise.
game.
Okay. Number 2 was the Now, this next one doesn't mean released this year. It means start production this year on the Todd McFarlane directed live-action Spawn movie reboot.
Just literally something other than Todd McFarlane saying he's going to do it, right?
Some physical evidence of production happening. Casting, cameras roll, something.
Like a director is signed and paid.
Well, the director is already signed.
Well, let me phrase that. Yes, an actor, producers, multiple, like actual some level of commitment by someone other than Todd McFarlane.
It doesn't need to be in theaters this year. It just something needs to happen. Okay, comics, we have the DC Comics. It's called Detective Comics Before Batman.
Yes.
This is the 2-volume hardcover set that I want to say was solicited in 2016, 17.
Yeah.
Canceled, resolicited, recanceled.
Yep. Now I fight for this book because this is a legendary book. It's the first 26 issues of Detective Comics before Batman appears. And just from a historical point of view, much like the Shazam Monster Society of Evil book, this book should be in print.
And I believe these were actually these books exist. This is a physical thing that exists, doesn't it?
I don't think they ever went to press. Okay. There's mock-ups. Like you could see like the cover design and everything, right? So there's mock-ups for both of these, but I don't believe they ever went to press.
And finally, my golden boy, who's been riding almost as long as Saga, in fact, as long as Saga, I shouldn't say almost, is the continuation / conclusion of the Neil Gaiman, Mark Buckingham, Miracle Man, the Silver Age. Now, specifically on this, because Marvel's been teasing Miracle Man, we are specifically talking about continuing the Gaiman Buckingham issues from the 80s, not whatever Marvel is going to do with that character beyond those.
Correct, because we almost had a poll that said the last minute.
Right.
Because
I know.
I guess spoilers for Timeless #1, the one shot from last week. It did actually announce that they are going to have a 40th anniversary of Miracle Man next year. They are putting out the omnibus of the entire. Oh, hold on. I don't have it in front of me. Let me grab it.
I believe that Omni goes through the Alan Moore stuff, but not the Gaiman.
I'm sorry. We must be official here. The legendary run of Miracle Man by Alan Davis, Gary Leach, John Toltebin, and more. Right. Of course, you cannot say the A word.
Okay.
The AM word. All those legendary creators.
Now,
I mean, Alan Davis, obviously.
And so for listeners who have not heard these poll discussions before, there are at least 2 issues of that Gaiman run in the can that were never published. Neil has said for, 3 years now that Buckingham is drawing the other issues. So this is not just some pie-in-the-sky fantasy we're pulling out of nowhere.
Yeah, and so I have absolutely zero belief that any of the planned Miracle Man content for 2022 is the Neil Gaiman, Mark Buckingham, Silver Age Part 3 and beyond.
So
right?
you're out on that one. You're just saying up front you're out on that.
Okay, so those are the choices. McFarlane Spawn, Ayer Cut Suicide Squad, Detective Comics Before Batman, or Gaiman Miracle Man. Yeah. Everyone make their call. The most likely for 22.
Yeah, of those, I've got to go with the Detective Comics hardcover. I have fought with people at DC to get that release. I want that out. That should be out. It is crazy to me that they're not going to put that through. I'm gonna say that of all of them, that is by far the most likely to happen. It's unlikely to happen, but it is by far the most likely. I think the Spawn of all of them is the last on the list, but maybe other people disagree with that.
Spawn is the most likely to happen.
Yeah,
least likely.
Least likely.
Yeah, I think the Detective Comics is the most likely to happen of all of the unlikely things.
All right. Anyone else want to put their bet on?
I want to say like the Ayer Cut, but I'm like, honestly, most likely it's going to be that Spawn stuff.
Well,
they'll drop some news or something, or get somebody attached, and it'll just It'll hit.
Brock's going for it.
And I'm going with Miracle Man.
I mean, probably.
That's a fucking
No,
sucker bet.
It is a sucker bet.
I'm betting with my heart on this. Lane,
That's
what's
why
your
I
pick?
didn't do air cut.
Wait, so for Spawn, you said anything? Any mention of any?
Well,
Like-
McFarlane says it's happening, but some evidence of a physical production getting underway.
Like an actual casting
Yes.
of multiple roles, like a date,
Not a rumor
a studio,
Yeah.
like real, actual, like official announcement on Variety,
Oh,
like
so it doesn't
something
count
is
the
happening.
Marlon's mouth.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Wow. I was gonna go with McFarlane, but I guess if you're gonna go that way, if we only have,
Yeah, according to him, it's been in
Exactly.
production for 5 years already, right? I mean,
yeah, he's been working on the script
15
for a
years.
while, right?
So,
Yeah.
Well, he's been working with Blumhouse since 2017, so
I think I'm gonna be weird.
All right, Lane, make your pick.
I don't think you said there's a limit to the issue, so I'll go with Miracle Man. Because I do know that he is working on the pages, so and I will only bet one issue makes it out. But let's go with that.
Well,
will
but they
not
have two,
finish.
there are two that are finished right now from back in the day.
do we get a December 28th, 2022 Miracle Man release? Last week of the year.
did you actually
That
look
counts
this
as a
up to
win.
see what date it was?
Hot Christmas
I
gift.
did. Yeah. It's the Christmas release of the final issue of Miracle Man.
All right, so
Look, it's a
everyone's on the
Christmas
record.
miracle.
Was it Three Jokers on the list a couple years, like 2020, right? Wasn't that like
Yes,
actually
I think it
finishing,
was.
right?
I think it
It
was.
squeaked in the last week of the
Doomsday
year,
Clock.
so
No, it
Doomsday.
was
it's precedence.
no, that
Or
was
Doomsday
Doomsday
Clock.
Clock.
No,
Yeah,
Doomsday Clock. No, Doomsday Clock was a side bet on the as far as the New Year's poll. Doomsday Clock wasn't on that. I don't believe.
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah, maybe that's what led to Three Jokers being on there. So, yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Three Jokers came out August and to October. They did
Yeah.
okay with that one.
Yeah, no, it was on time. It was on time.
I don't know
All
if
right.
on time's the right word to use.
It was no, they absolutely yep. Doomsday Clock was not. Doomsday Clock was
Okay,
not.
yeah,
but
Doomsday Clock took 3 years to come out.
yeah. But three
And
Jokers.
that was an exciting bet. That went down to the last the tail end of December of that
Yeah.
year with the bet cut off.
Yeah. All right, so we got that. I'll do a quick little recap here of the year of some major events before we get into
Two kamikaze plane sound effect.
our end of year like rankings and stuff like that. I'm trying to actually get the release date here. Yeah. So while it was not in March, it started in January. This year started off with Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, coming to Disney Plus with WandaVision. Like WandaVision was January. That was a year ago. It feels like
Fuck.
a lifetime ago that WandaVision came out.
WandaVision was this past year.
It was
I'm
January of
I'm going through the
2021.
list of things that were out, and I was like, okay, I'm going backwards through all the Disney Plus show, and I'm like, wait a second, they've all come out this year?
All of them this year. Yeah, you have to remember half of this stuff was pushed back from 2020, right? So the Disney Plus stuff absolutely just crushes this year because I mean, much later in the year, of course, is Black Widow, right? So the MCU movies start coming back out as well. So between all the MCU shows and TV, we had 4 movies and 5 TV shows this year. So that is a fucking lot. That is a lot of stuff. Earlier this year, we had Josh Williamson on the podcast. That was a fun time. You talked about Infinite Frontier, which is now in full swing, and I don't know if there's any official. Let me phrase this, but there's been no official announcement of anything happening past Justice League Incarnate. But we know there's plans. 2022, 2023, something like that for some sort of crisis-like event. So
you mean 5G is going to make a comeback?
It has been interesting to see through the year what 5G and the future state stuff has sort of trickled into the books, and what sort of very quickly has gone away. Like they're going pretty hard with the Superman stuff. More so than I thought. I'm very excited for what they're going to do with Superman. Isn't Death of Superman?
What?
I catch a niner in there.
Huh?
What was that?
Yeah. So November of 2022 will be the 30th anniversary of the Death of Superman. For some reason, I had in my head it was 93, but it was November 92. And so with all the talk of what's going on with Superman leaving and quote unquote dying, what's interesting, I'm sure not unintentional, that we're going to get the future state Superman stuff is coming to some sort of fruition here.
Superman's dying?
Yeah, that's been the arc in action. He's going to Warp World. He's taking off from Earth. Him and the Authority are piecing out, and they're going to go try to take down Mongol. It's been a good story. Action's been fantastic.
It's like
Scott.
It's like World War Superman.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Wait, who said it? Scott? Kevin? No, Kevin. March 18th, 2021, a day that will live in infamy, Kevin. Zack Snyder's Justice League, 4 hours and 2 minutes, is released on HBO Max.
Okay, we don't need to say this after every item you list, but I can't believe that was this past year.
It does feel like
2020. I would have bet $5 it was 2020.
It does feel like it was just forever ago. And it's funny.
I remember like it was yesterday. I watched 2 hours and went, I'm going to bed.
I watched Man of Steel BVS director's cut, and
I remember that.
Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. So that was a hell of a day. It's funny. This actually, I almost had I thought about this earlier, maybe I would have suggested an edit to the poll. I'm not sure about what I would have taken off. While people are clamoring for the Ayer cut, the other big one is Amazing Spider-Man 3, with Spider-Man having with the Far From Home out now. Everyone is the big push online is for another Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. So. I don't think that's likely either, but maybe if that's still going on next year, maybe we can add that to the poll if something falls off.
Well, they have to talk contracts with the Eels and see where it goes.
Yeah. Although nothing will come of this still probably till I think it's this year. But Warner Media stripped from AT&T and sold to Discovery. Again, was also mid last year. And again, nothing has really come of it yet, but that is, I believe, all going through this year. So we should see some pretty potentially big changes to Warner Brothers and DC Comics as all that happens. Richard Donner, legendary director of, among other things, Superman 1 and 2, Superman 1 and parts of Superman 2, passed away last year. So that's obviously very sad. Now, not only was this last year, it was also not that long ago, really. It was pretty mid last year. But boy, has nothing come of this yet. Both the DC deal with Webtoons and the creators leaving for Substack. That happened, and the world went on. And has anything? I mean, they did the one book with Webtoons, and I think that's it. And then the Substack deal, has anything been made from anyone? Scott Snyder's doing the classes, but that's a whole different thing.
I mean, I've seen a handful of people pushing their subs. The funny thing is, I see them pushing their Substack on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, it's Substack. I'm not going there.
But has anything come out? Has anyone actually made anything? I haven't heard about anything.
The Cates Stegman, I can't remember what their press is called that they teamed up on. They have something. I don't think it's officially come out. Well, it didn't come out last year, but I think they have something on the horizon. Flood? Am I imagining this? A book called Flood.
Yeah, there's a handful of things that they've announced, but I don't think anything's come out.
No, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think anything came out in 21. If that's what you.
No. Yeah. Also announced early in the year, it happened mid-year. Marvel Comics, following DC Comics in 2020, leaving Diamond Comics, the major distributor, and going over to Penguin Random House. Middle third or back third of the year, Marvel actually starting the ship through Penguin Random House to an absolute disaster of a first few weeks. With nearly every store reporting damages across every single shipment. Just terrible start. But things have sort of, things have gotten,
Things have swung in the complete opposite direction, where they sent one comic in a T-mailer with 5 pounds of bubble wrap in a box that's way too sized. And just so you know, they're going to send you 5 trades in 4 different shipments. That's the same trade.
Yeah, you'll order like a micro USB cord from Amazon, and they ship it in a box that's the size of like a small refrigerator, right? But there's no packaging, there's no bubble wrap or paper or anything in it, right? Penguin Random House does this, except it's full to the brim with packing paper or packing bubbles. We have at the warehouse bags and bags and bags, just like 40-gallon trash bags full of this stuff. We have endless supplies, and every week is more. It's a little ridiculous.
So you're saying there's been an overcorrection?
Yeah, a little too much.
Hey, of course, you have to process like I think Marshall said he processed 11 invoices today, and that's going to be far more than what Ryan processes tomorrow
for like 40 books.
Yeah,
that's just stupid. Of course, we get the official return of Saga solicitations. Of course, was just a few months ago. Diamond Comics. This was fairly recent too. Still feeling the effects of this. Diamond Comics. If the 1-2 punch wasn't enough, they got hacked in a ransomware situation hack, and they're still recovering from that. Just on the distribution and for the stores have to deal with just such an absolute pain. And of course, Kevin and Lane returned to comic conventions. We've had conventions through parts of 2020, early 2021, but the back half of 2021, we saw real comic conventions return. They got in right before that Omicron bump, so I don't know if
according to the Anime Con in New York, it helped the bump.
Well, I was going to say I don't know if those early 2022 cons are going to be happening. Lane, have you heard anything? Is anything getting canceled? Or because I know like CES, I think pulled back a few days, and a couple of those early more larger cons have changed. Sketchfest in San Francisco, we were supposed to go to one of the shows. They canceled all Sketchfest. So
yeah, I haven't heard too much about it yet. I mean, as far as I know, everybody's still planning to continue as is, just with the lower numbers, the regular COVID stuff. But
yeah.
I think we'll have to wait till the end of this month to really see what happens with the numbers.
Yeah. It's I don't know how many were scheduled for. January, but
we got Stockton Con and
yeah, they're gonna have those little ones. That's understandable, but.
The first test will be, we're recording this on the 3rd. I believe the 7th is the New Orleans Comic Convention.
Okay.
That's a big old mixing pot there.
Yeah, if one's this weekend, I'm assuming it's still happening. But yeah, I don't know if any of those big early cons are getting postponed or moved around. And of course, it wasn't too long ago, but always worth a quick mention. But the terrible news of George Perez, stage 3 inoperable pancreatic cancer, not a great way to end the year. And we're kind of obviously going to keep an eye on that through the year, this year, to see kind of what happens. I know he's doing a signing with CGC. Hopefully that's not his only signing, because I don't want to send a book to CGC. I want to send graphic novels. But yeah, we'll we'll keep an eye on that. That was all this year, and many other things, of course, too. We'll get to talk about plenty more stuff through the rest of this podcast. But yeah, what that's a crazy year, crazy year. It's big stuff. But yeah, some of that early stuff, it does feel like some of that stuff feels like it was like it's always how it feels. Like January was like a lifetime ago. Yeah, WandaVision definitely feels like it was not 2021.
It was like a bygone era.
Yeah, it does feel like it was a long time ago. So we're going to talk about some
paper shortages. Is that still
what's that?
Anything going forward?
Yeah, it's weird. There hasn't been like a major. The manga paper shortage is still definitely in effect, but I think everyone's just printing less, and I don't know how many people are just kind of holding off and waiting till some of that's been fixed. It's continued, but it hasn't got to the point where like things are on hold. Like I thought it could possibly get to the point where there's like no comics being shipped. It never got to that point. But they, at least things are still coming out. But the graphic novel and that's got a lot of trade paperbacks. The graphic novel and the manga, and it's still affecting a lot of it. Yeah, it's like I don't even bother trying to get much manga now. I'll kind of just wait until things go back to normal, if they ever do. So we're gonna talk before we got some comics talk about through the year, TV shows and movies based on comics. Just kind of round robin, pick a couple books, pick a book, talk about it. We'll kind of go around. I know some of us have read more than others through the year. Scott, specifically, I know you are not as much current at all with current comics, but you have been a longtime collector of old comics. I specifically wanted you on here to talk about some of your best pickups through this year, because we all like current stuff and new stuff, but we also like old comics, and you have a impressive collection that continues to grow. So if you remember some of the stuff you picked up this year too, you don't have to talk about your favorite comics you've read this year, but if you want to talk about some of your pickups.
I've read one comic this year. One. The Last Ronin.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I've read. That's honestly
it's because it's an
I've
awkward
read.
size, and he doesn't want to have to deal with it, so he reads it and then puts it away.
No, I read it because I wanted to read it. It's Ninja Turtles. So, the market is crazy. Like, I thought the market went kind of nuts when COVID hit, summer of 2020. About August, started really going up, and it just hasn't stopped. So it's been frustrating because my salary hasn't gone up as much as the comics that I want to buy have. So I was like, maybe I didn't get anything good. But then I was going through and I picked up this year that I thought were, cool things. Batman 121, which is the first Mr. Freeze. I picked that up. Brave and the Bold 34.
Now is that Mr. Zero?
It is Mr. Zero first.
Correct.
That's Scott. That's a Kurt Swan cover. They're like Batman and Robin are in ice blocks.
Yep, it's amazing. I think part of the love for that comic in general is not just that it's Mr. Freeze, but it's the cover. People love the cover. I love the cover. Brave and the Bold 34, which is the first Hawkman. I had a poor copy of that, and I picked up a good one, which is nice. I finished my showcase run with Showcase 8 and 13. 13 I got in like January, and 8 I got at a show that Lane was at.
What are you considering your run of Showcase?
All the
Flash
flashes.
appearances?
All the flashes.
So you picked up Showcase 4. That was in 2020, right?
2020, December 2020 was Showcase 4.
Yeah. Now, if any of you have seen these, like these are big Silver and Golden Age books. Showcase 4 is, at least for DC, one of, if not the most expensive Silver Age books. That is an incredible book, dude. Getting to see one in person. First appearance of Barry Allen Flash. Great comic, great cover. Love it.
That was the big 2000, 2021. 2021, I kind of recovered, and I didn't pick up. I mean, I got the first Ant-Man in costume. I got a second print of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1. Still looking for that first print.
Second print, right.
Yeah,
man, and that again, I sold a second print, and now that's going for what the third print's going for.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Well, do you guys remember what happened this past year? We had that amazing Fantasy 15 sell for $3 million.
Yeah.
Well, there was a Superman 1 that went for 2.4 million, I think.
So crazy.
Yeah,
it's just so nuts. Expensive.
So the things that I get are not.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not getting $1 million comics.
But you're not at the six figures, let alone seven figures.
But the thing is, when the 6 figures go up, everything else gets kind of pulled up with it.
And it's not.
Did you grab your first Miss Minutes on the cover?
Stupid.
No, my pancake guy. No.
Yeah.
And then Journey into Mystery 84 and 85, and then I picked up a Daredevil 1, and those are the books that I picked up this year. Daredevil 1's kind of a big one now. I mean, like I said, the prices are crazy, so I ended up getting a Daredevil 1 for about the same price I purchased my Amazing Fantasy 15 for. About the same price, which is
crazy. Well, you're good because you get those books that you paid a couple $1,000 for, and now are tens of thousands.
Right. So, but if you're not getting rid of them and they're not helping you get the next one, so a lot of guys are really good about letting stuff go and picking up other things, and I have more of the Pokemon personality.
Would you trade out everything for like Action Comics 1 or Detective 27 or something?
I don't know. Part of me says yeah, but part of me goes, then what am I going to do? Just go back and buy all the other stuff again?
You've reached the top. Where do you go next?
You get to the top, you sell the top because then you make some money, and then you go buy up everything else. You start the cycle all over again.
Yeah, but then you can never get back to that.
Yeah, not the way
he's playing with like late '90s money, like
.com bubble money.
well, I mean, yeah, like when the books are nothing comparatively. So.
Oh yeah, you could hawk now and get some, but you're still not. You could get rid of them and like go into vintage cars or artwork or
cars.
NFTs, right? NFT.
Yeah. Put it all onto NFTs.
Oh, I don't understand NFTs. I mean, I understand NFTs, but they're just not my jam. At least, I think they are NFTs of this world today are the jam for people. Like, I would think that you would be into NFTs, Ryan.
For me?
Yeah.
What the hell? No.
Here, I'll give you an example. Ryan, you like to collect little obscure crap in World of Warcraft and have little medals on your guys and have little things like that.
Yeah.
That's the beginnings of an NFT.
The difference though is, besides all the other problems with NFTs, the difference is it's not to collect. It's the idea is to collect to sell, to get more people in. It's when you buy digital. I have no problem with digital goods in games. I don't buy a lot of them, but I do buy sometimes. Like Brock, how many Hearthstone cards do you have? Right, that's different. That is a game.
I am this close to a full collection.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend a lot of money on Marvel Puzzle Quest or anything, Scott. But I have no
Whoa.
problem with people that do, right? Because that is a game that you are enjoying and having fun. You're not buying it specifically for an investment to try to sell to other people. NFTs only work if other people will pay you more for them.
Correct.
So that's why, like, it's not a scalper speculator thing. Like, I just
enjoy watching all the NFT things just tank. Like,
yeah, you look at video games. There's so many sales come from digital goods and obviously streaming and digital comics and everything. It's a huge market that I have no real problem with, but it's just not the same.
It is a very interesting market where it's just not what I do.
It's a market. It's not a collectible. It's not a. Anyway, I don't have to get into this.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of those.
So other comic books that actually were released this year for cover price.
The Last Ronin is my favorite comic book of the year.
That's come out over 2 years.
I will, as of previous years, admit my reading of new comics is not as high as it used to be, especially with the Marvel and indie stuff. I have big stacks of stuff to read through and lots of graphic novels, but it's like, man, it's impossible to keep up. There's so much new stuff these days.
We need a mandate at the store. You have to read a book a day.
I read a lot of new books. I read a lot of like number ones, but it's like not as many number twos as I would like. But obviously a couple books on my list, just everyone can kind of have their say. I'm sure we're many
Dark
of us
Hawk
will have
number one.
Many of us will have the one shot was okay. Many of us will have, I think, a similar list with at least one or two of these. But if Tom King's had a better year than this year, I don't know what it is. Rorschach, Strange Adventure, Supergirl, Batman, Catwoman, and Human Target.
Yep.
Just bangers, as the kids say. Just across the board.
Kids say bangers.
Just absolute bangers.
We'll
Just not a bad book in the bunch. But, and maybe not a huge shock, at least to Kevin and maybe a few other people, I don't think there's a second place. Book of the year is Wonder Woman Historia.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I don't.
That book is holy shit good.
So Ryan,
Kelly
did you put that in my saver? Am I getting that?
Oh, I don't think you get any of the Black Label stuff.
What?
We got them.
See, I feel like old Ryan would have just put it in my box because if it was that good.
You don't read them.
If it was that good, you'd have been like, yeah, Scott wants to read that.
No, obviously, I've been a little hit and miss with Kelly Sue DeConnick through the years.
Oh, yeah.
There's some stuff in, definitely some of her books I haven't really cared for. But I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, she's working with incredible artists, Phil Jimenez, Gene Ha, and Nicola Scott. But once those preview pages started coming in of issue number 1 of Wonder Woman Historia, just unbelievable. Phil Jimenez, I mean, this is the work of his career. It is, it is unreal. Now I did ask our good friend, Raphael, who is Wonder Woman expert number 1. We had a nice conversation about the differences, what they drew from Perez's version and what they drew from the Golden Age version, and kind of, they've made some changes, obviously, to Hippolyta and the Amazons and her origin and everything in the back half. But man, you could put this next to Sandman, especially Overture with the J.H. Williams. It's just like some of the most jaw-dropping art of the last like 15, 20 years. If you have not picked up a copy yet, I don't care if you like Wonder Woman or not, you have to get this book. It is just unbelievable. And the big format too. Like, you couldn't read this on a regular comic. It'd be so small. The art would be tiny. Like, it's so detailed. I want a bigger version. Like, I want a poster of it or of each page, because it's like each page is like a double page splash on the and it's on the black label, so it's the magazine format too. It is just unreal.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Scott, if he hasn't put one in your box tomorrow, I will put one in your box.
Nice. See, that's the service I love.
Book 2 is March.
It's March, and it's not Jimenez. It's
it's Gene Ha's book 2 and Nicola Scott is book 3.
Yeah.
So that's going to be.
This just came out.
Yeah, like last month.
Ago?
December.
Scott's 2022
end of November,
list.
beginning of December.
The one book he reads
maybe.
next year.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, because it's big.
Yeah, the first book goes through the kind of the origin of the gods and the formation of Themyscira and Hippolyta. Kind of right up to the point where she joins the Amazons. Yeah, it's a pretty different origin.
It's very, very
it pulls directly from
accurate to like the mythos, the actual Greek mythology and all that stuff. Like, and you get that sense of that the attitude and behavior of these gods. So yeah.
Yep. Pretty amazing. Who else has got some books? We don't need like top charts or lists or anything for this, but if you've got some books you want to talk about, this is your point. Talk about a couple things.
A couple of mine were The Many Deaths of Layla Starr was fantastic by Ram V. Another Black Label book that was really good was The Other History of the DC Universe. That was really, really good. That's John Ridley. Did that one. I didn't read too many Marvel books, so I don't really have any of those on my list.
Someone opening packs of magic cards or something?
Probably.
What's going on?
Probably.
Someone's very crackly.
It's Lane.
But oh god, I looked at everything, but it's like I have this Wonder Woman Astoria in front of me. I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. I know Noctera came out this year, and that was really good. Geiger was good this year. All the times.
Geiger was a lot of fun. Yeah, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. It was a fun kind of throwback to like, I sort of looked at it as like kind of throwback to like Marvel's like kind of 70s like horror hero comics.
Well, it fit really well with his like what he did on Shazam for DC like the year or so prior. Like it was very kind of fun and it was it was a story and a tale and all this stuff, and it had all these eclectic characters and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was really well done. But yeah, I mean, we got some good collections this year. We got the Justice League Dark Omnibus, Swamp Thing Omnibus. Yeah. Anybody else got anything? Or
I'll shout out. Although I feel like I mentioned this before, but Department of Truth continues to be the best comic where 99% of every issue is people talking. But it's just so visually interesting and fun to read every month.
Yeah. I actually just got caught up with that one.
Okay.
And the Bigfoot issue.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Really
I was like, that was real good.
2 5-issue Marvel miniseries running concurrently that I've been enjoying. Both of them have been Kang and the Defenders. And I think those each have 1 issue left as of the time we're talking. Ryan mentioned, I hate to put a book on my favorites list when it's like barely gotten started, but I've kind of been hot and cold on some of Tom King's 12-issue books. With that said, The Human Target is so my jam. Like, I just want that thing injected right in my veins. I want it all. I both want to wait and I don't want to wait.
Did you see Greg Smallwood's thread on Twitter about how he started to draw it and he went back and completely redid it? That's very interesting. not sure how it would have read with his kind of original art style. He switched to go very like 60s Art Deco. It's a very different.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the coloring on it is so good. Anybody who hasn't been reading this, I mean, if you like, it's a crime comic. I mean, it has superheroes in it, but it's a crime comic essentially.
Yeah.
So good.
It's weird. It's noir without like black.
It's sunlight noir.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had who did he say? Why am I blanking here? He had said his art was kind of similar to someone else. I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh yeah. He had a very like Darwin Cook style. That's who it was. Yeah, just more less kind of sketchy lines.
Right.
More solid inking, darker shadows. Yeah, no, this is.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite artists, period, in any medium is Robert McGinnis. And this is definitely echoes of McGinnis, and I mean that as the highest compliment. The final book I'll shout out, then we can pass it off. I don't know, Lane, if you have a list, but other than Human Target, maybe my biggest surprise for this year, because I read it in trade, I didn't read the issues, and I absolutely had a blast and loved this book top to bottom, was Ultra Mega by James Herron, which is basically his riff on Ultraman. It's kaiju versus giant, like, fighting suit robot guys, essentially.
I've heard really good things about that. I do want to read it.
It's very much of the kind of the Daniel Warren Johnson big scope action flavor comic. I had such a blast with that, and I highly, highly recommend the trade of that. It's all contained in one book.
Yep. No, it's pretty. That was like an interesting. There was an interesting kind of like speculator buzz in that book, which is I wasn't quite sure. I was like, oh, I wonder if they were to like make a TV show or movie out of it or something like that. Like, I feel like there's some potential there, because it definitely got a lot of buzz from kind of the non-traditional audience.
Yeah.
Another book I had on my list that I just remembered was the 10 but now 16 issue Swamp Thing from Ram V.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been really good.
It's been really, really good. The art, who's the artist on that? I always forget.
Isn't it Perkins?
Yeah,
Mike Perkins. Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah,
Lane, I know you're sort of in recovery for your collection, but have you got to read anything this year that, or even Star-wise, anything you want to recommend?
Like catch up here and there. Let's see, Marvel wise, probably biggest thing for me for Marvel was more for the art, though. I think. I mean, the story's good too, but I love the Demon Days series. Mostly, Peach, Momoko's.
Peach Momoko,
and the covers too. At DC, you kind of stole the thunder with Tom King stuff already. It's all
cool. But talk about it. I specifically kind of didn't want to say too much about any of them, because I think they're all. I look at them all as just these self-contained things. You don't have to. I don't put Strange Adventure into any sort of continuity, right? It is just this standalone story that can exist without, affecting how Adam Strange appears in the regular books. It's just it's an interesting story, and I was kind of not sure where they were going with it. It's pretty surprising.
I love how he wraps it up,
and I like when they try something new.
No.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no spoilers, but it's it's. I mean, it's Tom King, so it's usually pretty depressing. Same with Rorschach too. Again, you could.
He hasn't read it.
No.
I just got the collection. I have one issue in.
So no, I won't. No. Yeah, no. No. Just. I think you could read Rorschach without having ever read Watchmen. It is just its own thing that uses Rorschach in just it could be, it almost could be anything. I mean, it couldn't be anything. It has to be Rorschach, but you don't even have to have really known anything. I almost think I was a little bit more confused or not sure where they were going more because I know Rorschach so well that I'm like, where's this going? But it's very much just its own self-contained story.
Kevin,
world.
If you've been liking Department of Truth, I think you'll like Rorschach. It's.
I mean, he does these murder mystery stuff, I think, very, very well. And A Strange Adventure, Rorschach, and now
but I think Rorschach was a little different in its approach.
Yeah,
like I think I think that one has more hints of what we've seen in themes we've seen in Department of Truth.
Well, it's a murder mystery where you're shown everything up front. It's more about the why than the who, right? So there's it's very, very good.
I don't remember if this is this year or not, but the Curse of the White Knight and the Harley series related to it.
Harley, I think wrapped up this year.
Okay.
Curse was last year, but the
White
continuation
Knights.
of all the White Knight stuff. Yeah, they've been getting new ones.
Yes,
new ones scheduled, right?
Yeah, he's already
it's just been
halfway through
solicited,
it.
I think.
Yeah.
And then, I got to talk to him at Emerald City, so he and his wife are also. There will be a continuation of the Harley series, and there are plans for further beyond that if DC approves it. So, definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah. White Knight's a huge hit. It's happening.
Harley and Batman. I mean, I don't know how DC doesn't auto approve.
And then I guess going into more Image stuff. Some of it I forgot because I can't remember if it's this year or not because I'm so far behind on reading. Some books I did like this year though. Primordial, the new Lemire Sorrentino book. It's been really good. I really enjoyed that. Good. And then another kind of pop up recently was Cross to Bear. I've been enjoying that one.
You've been really into the Aftershock stuff. Huh?
Looking at a lot of #1 issues just to kind of learn the craft a little bit more, just to see how #1s work. So I've been reading a lot of the Scout, Behemoth, and Aftershock books just to kind of get into #1s.
Yeah. You and a lot of people. They I've
been enjoying. Chicken Devil's a little weird, but I enjoyed it. And then We Don't Kill Spiders is also a very good one.
That will look. That's one that I want to check out once we got like a trade or something like that. I love the art on We Don't Kill Spiders. It's a really cool art. I want to see where that goes.
Although I will warn the
Carmen was this year too.
Yeah,
I liked Carmen. Carmen was good. Gillian March.
Gillian March. Yeah.
That's all I can think of right now. So I'm sure more will come to me later.
Oh, some good books. Yeah. Some good books. Normally, I do our sales ranking for comics or graphic novels. Unfortunately, Comic Hub has hit a bit of a bump in the road with some of its reporting. I was hoping it would have been fixed today, and it is not. We will have. I don't think we're going to get Comic-Con chart numbers for industry for quite some time. But if really, I don't know, if anything ever, that's as accurate as can be. But we will have our top numbers for 2021, hopefully next week, as soon as it's fixed. Fingers crossed.
I know the Brewbreaker Reckless series came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
It had like at least
graphic novels. Yeah.
Those were. I mean, I haven't opened them yet, but I heard good things about them. So.
Brewbreaker, yeah, they're in my giant pile of stuff to read. A lot of crime stuff this year. But it's funny.
It just your giant pile just is silly, Ryan.
I get a lot of people asking for like good sci-fi comics, and I find a hard time like for new stuff, and I kind of have a hard time making a lot of good suggestions because there are so many horror and crime comics, and I feel like that didn't used to be the thing, but there are so many right now, especially in like the indie space.
Like
a lot of horror.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the sci-fi stuff is is very kind of like based on the art style, or very kind of, does like, again, it incorporates that horror aspect to it because it's some bad creature or something. It's like,
yeah, when I've been like, well, this is kind of science fiction, but Department of Truth is kind of horror, psychological.
Yeah,
like
it's more of like a psychological horror.
Yeah,
like,
but it pulls from like those
X-Files on steroids.
Well, that's what I mean. But it pulls from like science fiction tropes, but it kind of goes its own way. Like Saga, not really. I mean, it's science fiction
Saga
in setting.
Saga's a mashup of fantasy, magic, and sci-fi.
I mean, it's Romeo and Juliet, really.
Ryan, you could also nominate a book that I can't put on my list for this year because I stopped reading it because it was so sci-fi. I wanted to get all the issues and then sit down and read it straight through. Is The Far Sector?
Yeah. Far Sector is actually a good one.
People who like sci-fi novels, I think would really like that comic because it is very dense with world building.
Or another one that
That's why I didn't find it read enjoyably month to month with a break.
It was hard.
Yeah,
it was hard.
I read the whole thing. It's okay. Like, I enjoyed it for the most part. It's okay. It's a series that's ruined because issue 1 is the first appearance of that character, and so.
You could just buy the trade. It is. The setting is so dense that it was difficult to read monthly. I really liked it, but I found it hard to.
It's a lot to absorb and remember month to month.
Right, because it is such a dense world. The plot is fairly straightforward, but it is a lot to take in. I want to reread it. I don't dislike it. I liked it a lot. It didn't hit my top list because I needed to. I do want to re-examine getting to read it all at once because I think I would get the characters a little bit better. It's presented so non-traditionally, sort of their like caste system and the way they talk,
right?
And like all like the meme dialogue. It's not done in an annoying way, which thank God. I was when that first started, I didn't know if I was gonna
meme forms
deal with that, but it works surprisingly well. Yeah. Beautiful art though. Yeah. And I think you can hand that to someone that's never read a Green Lantern book or a DC comic.
For sure, yeah. Especially as a trade. As a trade, definitely as a recommend.
Yeah.
As monthly issues.
I can see, like, it was rough a little reading it monthly, but overall,
Brock, I would compare it to monthly, picking up a big dense sci-fi novel and reading one chapter per month, and then trying to remember what had happened in the previous chapter.
I get that with a lot of like fantasy books where I'm like, and sci-fi books where they're like using weird names and everything is just like I can't remember these fake names and these fake people. Like, that's why I kind of sometimes in Dune, I'm like, oh, I kind of like that some of them have normal names. That's okay. I can remember that. Star Wars, Luke Skywalker. That's a word. I know that word. That's it's not like 12 Y's or something weird. Like it's just a regular word. Yeah, Han. That's simple. Leia. Those are nice normal names. They're not common, but like I can understand these words.
So you're saying you don't like long names?
No, he just like things that he's never seen ever.
Well, when I
like a bunch of apostrophes and some.
My eyes just look right past that word. I'm like, oh, it's and I just
this is
it's
my eyes just right over it when I read it in a sentence. It can get kind of hard. All right, we got some movies and TV shows to talk about here, and we'll start with some TV and get comic movies and shows. There was just an absolute gross amount of stuff that came out this year. Scott, you by nature of your work, you travel a lot, so you have a lot of downtime. You were always our like big movie and TV guy. And again, honorable mentions allowed here too. If you want to talk about stuff not comic related, because I know you're not a real nerd.
So
you
I'm
watch
sitting
real
here,
shows as well.
Like I'm writing down the series that I watched this year that had come out. Just the Squid Game, Hawkeye, Wheel of Time, Loki, Invincible, Ted Lasso, Shadow and Bone, Never Have I Ever, The Witcher, Heels, What If, Sex Education, WandaVision, Succession, which is the most miserable TV show I love watching.
Succession. I've heard really good things about it.
The Mayor of Easttown, Big Shots, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, it's like the amount of content, I feel like that was just stuff that came out this year.
There's probably more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just stuff that I wrote down. I'm like, wow, I didn't remember I watched that. I remember I watched all of this stuff. These are the good ones. I didn't write anything down.
How is The Expanse not on your list?
The Expanse, it should be. I'm like partly through this season.
I've only watched the first episode of the season. I'm like, I'm just going to binge all of it like this weekend.
Just go off. Okay, Ryan's, when you binge too much, I don't know the names of any of the characters.
Yeah.
None of them, because you just watch it. I know the story, and I know, okay, that's her and that's him. But like if I was watching stuff, I forgot, oh yeah, Invincible was really good this year. Because that was earlier in the year.
Yep. First season of Invincible is
very good.
Yeah. I was very, very surprised.
We had Boys season 2 this year, didn't we?
Which one?
Was that this year?
Was Boys season 2 this year?
Maybe. There's probably so many shows I've just missed.
Was Boys season 2 2021? It must have been, right?
Oh no, it was October. It was late of 20.
End of 2020. Okay.
Yeah. Because remember, it came out in 2019. They dropped it early 2019 and then dropped it again
in 2020. Okay.
Yeah, in 2020.
And
so I think like new seasons soon.
Well, it's interesting. So like at the same time, so I'll use this as an example. Witcher and Wheel of Time came out at the same time.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Witcher season 2, Wheel of Time, and I'm going through and I'm watching these like back and forth. And I'm like, wait a second. That guy's not in this one. He's in the other one. Like some of the ancillary characters, and I'm like, damn it. I got to pay attention. So
I've only watched one episode of Wheel of Time. The first it didn't grab me.
A friend of mine is a Wheel of Timer. He's like a book guy. That's what I'm going to call him. I'm going to call my friend Jeff. He's a Wheel of Timer. And he's like, dude, the books were, and I'm like, I don't care about the books. Should I watch this? And he's like, oh yeah, it's great. And I watched it and it was okay. The Witcher I liked more just based on the first season. But
The Witcher season 2 was I think it was episode 4 when they're at the dock and the guy starts complaining about the Bard song and all that stuff and the time. And I literally had to stop it afterwards and I'm like, and look at my roommate because I watched with my roommate and go, did they just make a comment on season 1's shitty like time jumping shit that nobody understood until like 4 episodes in? And did they just do a meta comment inside the show? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, kudos, you motherfucker.
They're like, hey, yeah, by the way, we effed up on this. So.
Like them acknowledging how bad that first season was with the time jumping and stuff like that. In this season, I was like, okay, all right, I'm sold. Give me more Witcher.
No, I enjoyed that. That was a good program as far as things goes. I mean, we were inundated. So I watched once again my boycott of the CW is in effect. So,
there were at least 5 shows not mentioned by you that I want to ask.
Superman and Lois, I haven't watched yet, and I really that's number one. That is going to be watched.
So why The Last Man? Did you watch why?
No, I think it's on a platform I don't have.
We got halfway through. It's bad. Do not bother.
It was okay. It wasn't.
It's canceled. It's never coming back.
Oh, they'll bring it on HBO Max to finish one season.
Was it on HBO? Because I have HBO.
No, it was on Hulu.
It was on Hulu.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, I don't have Hulu.
Sweet Tooth. You're not seeing Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth is great.
It's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yes. Sweet Tooth is really good.
I think I tried to watch one and was like,
Keep going.
So my Sweet Tooth is, I was like, oh, they're doing the show. Let me finally read the Sweet Tooth Compendium.
Yeah.
I start reading the Sweet Tooth Compendium, like, this is really good. And then I go watch the show, and I'm like, why am I watching the PG-13 version of the R-rated comic I just read?
The show is, they play him younger, but I think it really works.
It does. The show does a great job with what the show does. It's just, I had read Sweet Tooth, and then I couldn't jump from an R-rated version to a PG-13 rated version, because the book is.
Don't
losing
worry.
Brock there. We're losing Brock.
Yeah, he censored himself, so I think that was good.
Sorry.
Well, there are 3 shows, Scott, that are going to make up my top 3 of the year that I think should be on your list to watch.
Okay.
That you have not mentioned. Doom Patrol season 3. If you've not seen,
that's in the queue too. That was
1 and 2 were very good. I think Doom Patrol season 3 was fantastic.
Nice.
I think this is the best season of the 3.
Titans was not on my list, and Titans I thought was good this year.
Titans was pretty good.
Titans.
It doesn't. I want more from Titans. I feel like they're too afraid to. They're still too afraid to be the Teen Titans.
Stab people with scissors.
I mean, there's great parts to it. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Titans is great, but I don't think.
What was your Titans 3 moment? Because in season 1, it's Nightwing stabbing the guy in the dick with the scissors, and then in season 2, it's Titans are back, bitches.
Of course.
And then season 3, you have to have your Titans moment. What was your Titans moment?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a moment in season 3 that's like. I think the best part of it. There is some. You can tell they don't quite know what to do with a few of the characters.
Yeah, they don't go. They don't go all in.
Yeah,
I think for me. I kind of lost interest because it's like stuff's happening. You're like, okay, and then you're like, where's Raven? Like, what's going on?
They split everyone. So Doom Patrol splits the team up, and they all have their sort of adventure, but it comes together at the end, especially season 3. I know since you haven't seen it, no spoilers, but there's time travel stuff going on. It really clicks. In the last couple episodes, all these sort of loose plots all come together, and it is very well done. Titans doesn't really pull it off. They sort of have their own adventure, and they're fine. It just, I don't know why they kind of do a few of the things they do.
So Doom Patrol should be on my list.
Doom Patrol's great.
I've only watched I think 2 episodes of Doom Patrol, season 3.
Yeah, it's good.
I got through the episode where that character is waiting decades and decades and decades and decades and decades at the alien guy.
Alien guy.
This is the problem when we watch too much stuff and don't talk about it.
It's the one that the Hobbit is the servant 3? For. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Right. The alien. Yeah. That's like waiting at like the camp or whatever.
Yeah. I got through that episode and I was like,
yeah, that's early. That's a lot more.
Oof. It was like because I think for me the season it started out, but it doesn't catch you. And I think that's like I stopped there because I was just like, okay, I just that you didn't catch me yet, like.
And like I said, there are multiple threads that you're not quite sure where they're all going, but they all come together at the end in the last couple. And it is a very good.
So I got to the if you get past this point, you're going to be good.
Yeah,
but
it's good the whole time. But yeah.
No, like they weren't bad episodes. Like what I watched, I was just like.
Yeah,
it didn't entice me to want to sit down and keep going.
Sure. Now, Scott, I love me some CW shows.
Yeah.
But I will be the first to admit it has been a goddamn struggle.
How is that
to make it
Flash
through
again?
these shows?
Now, let me guess.
So I haven't watched that yet. That's
I heard,
what I'm watching right now.
The one with the Adventures of Tomorrow.
Legends
of Tomorrow, I heard was really good.
Completely jumped the shark. It's been
It's
awful. Awful. It was my favorite. Legends was absolutely my favorite for multiple seasons. It has nothing to do with comic books or superheroes or DC or anything. It's
just off the rails.
It just went, we're just going to try to be like a weird Doctor Who show that has nothing to do with anything.
Are they trying to be a Booster Gold show without Booster Gold?
No, it's just...
Should they have Booster Gold?
You could tell they got a pot guy in the writing staff. There's a pot guy in the writing staff, so there's all endless pot stuff. It's endless pot jokes. It's so
what's
annoying.
Her name's brother smokes a bunch of weed all the time.
It is. They got a pot guy in the writing staff, and it's become just insufferable.
Dude,
Flash season 7 was.
What if they did this?
Flash season 7 was so bad. I still have to watch the last season of Supergirl. Supergirl's been fine, but it just hasn't been great. Batwoman's been fine, but it's just not good.
I didn't even finish season 1. I like the last episode. I was just like,
oh, I mean, it gets. I mean, it's a complete change of cast in the back half, right? In the second season, so it is crazy to me that I think the 2 best superhero shows of this year are also CW shows.
No.
It's just the 2 CW shows that have nothing to do with the other CW shows. It is Stargirl and it is Superman and Lois. They are fantastic.
Yeah, Superman and Lois is the next up to watch.
Superman and Lois is great. Now look, it is still a network TV show. It still has some of the limitations that a network TV show is going to have. But they do... It is Superman. It is Superman being Superman. They're not like there were multiple episodes where Flash is just straight up not in the show. Right? That is never the case with Superman and Lois. He's Superman. It's powers every episode. There's costumes every episode.
Powers was a horrible show.
He has powers. He uses powers. It has its CW stuff. Don't get me wrong. But Superman and Lois was great. Stargirl season 2, again, it started on DC Universe, so it kind of had it got to kind of do its own thing at first. But this is a JSA and a modern JSA show. It is costumes, it is superpowers, it is superheroes, it is villains, they don't shy away from the names and the disguises and they took a bit of a budget hit. You could tell. I mean, again, it's CW. There's only so much. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't give Disney Plus the benefit of the doubt. They have endless money and an endless budget. They should be better. For what Stargirl does on CW, it's great. If you like the JSA and you could deal with just a little bit of that CW kid stuff, it's fun. It's funny. It's got a really good heart. She is great. Beck. How do you pronounce her?
Just butcher it.
No, I know I had it here. Tells her name. I can't blank on her name. Anyway, I'll look it up right now.
Great radio.
That's what the internet's for. I know.
Nottingham.
What's that? Breck Bassinger, BREC. It was a strange name. She is wonderful. She is so fun. And again, it is the JSA. They acknowledge the original stuff. They never shy away from it. Again, costumes, code names. It's a superhero show, and that's what makes some stuff like Legends so frustrating. Where it's like, you used to be a superhero show.
Yeah.
Now you're not. Now you're this weird other thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you have Doom Patrol, Stargirl,
Good stuff. Superman and
what was
Lois.
the other one?
Superman and Lois. Gotta watch them.
Those are your 3 favorite.
I love them. I loved them.
Above WandaVision, Hawkeye.
I think all those shows, and my problems here have been recorded on episodes. If we can go back, they, especially like WandaVision, starts great, and then they just pull away from what could have been an absolutely groundbreaking show. They just make it into another MCU thing, and it has the same ending that every MCU thing has, and it just kind of becomes the same thing again. Falcon and Winter Soldier was just terrible. What If was mostly terrible. Hawkeye is probably the best, the most consistent, but it has the villain issue of it completely shits the bed in the last episode. Kind of like WandaVision.
Yeah, you can't kill the Kingpin like that.
It's just nonsense. The last episode is just nonsense.
Spoilers.
Well, it's
Loki.
It's one of those things where it's like same thing with Falcon Winter Soldier. What happens during Hawkeye? Oh, well, what she's not trying to kill, or Black Widow's sister's not trying to kill Hawkeye. Like there's fun parts to these shows. They're just they just don't come together. And Loki does the same thing. Absolutely collapses in the last episode. And I loved Loki until the end. It was horrible final episode. Superman and Lois, Kevin Sharp had an issue with Superman and Lois, but I didn't. If you don't like kind of, it's a comic book show, right? I mean, you got to expect some level of comic book stuff.
Cliched comic book stuff. Yeah.
Wait, comic books are cliched? Except
for the Marvel ones.
There can be some of it.
They can't have those things.
No, but they didn't. That's not what I'm saying. That they set up another show. Like WandaVision sets up the first couple episodes, again, I think is some of the best, maybe the best stuff MCU's ever done. And then it just becomes a regular show. And then at the end, it's just like a regular superhero fight where nothing really happens.
And it's
just a setup for more stuff. They're all just
set up for Doctor Strange too.
None of them are self-contained. They just set up other stuff.
Their Falcon Cap sets up Avengers for whatever.
Yeah, they're not.
Loki
they're not
sets
shows
up
within themselves.
More of what's happening in Doctor Strange 2. And
why is this a bad thing?
What?
I want a show to have an ending.
Oh, that's your problem.
I get Stargirl, and there is a villain introduced in Superman and Lois and in Stargirl. They defeat the villain by the end of the season, and there they go. Right? I mean, clearly you can have a little tease, right? But there's no like, all the MCU shows are like, the real villain is this person at the end, and that gets very annoying after a while.
You just don't let it get annoying.
But it's annoying. So why don't you have them be the villain through the whole show? If you're going to introduce Kingpin,
just imagine if you watched No Way Home, and all of a sudden the villain at the end was not any of the villains you dealt with. Like,
I would have been like, "Sweet, sign me up for the next one."
It's lazy. It's bad. It's bad storytelling. Brock.
Yeah,
and then Toby, Jesus, and then Lane. Give us a couple shows you watched. Lane's like Lane is like not a TV guy. You haven't watched a lot of the stuff, huh?
He's gone.
We just lose Lane.
He checked out.
He did. He went to the bathroom and didn't tell
Brock,
us.
What do you like this year for shows?
I mean, I checked out on the CW shows. I have not. Pandemic kind of just killed it for me. So
I just got to get Hulu to get those shows. That's the problem. I got to go somehow get a free Hulu trial
for the CW shows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't
want to watch them with commercials, and I haven't recorded them.
Well, don't you just need to get the Hulu Disney Plus bundle?
I don't have a Hulu Disney Plus bundle. I just have Disney Plus.
Yeah, but you just upgrade your Disney Plus then.
That means I have to pay more money.
Yeah, this is true. TV show wise, I mean, I watch things like The Witcher 2.
Oh, by the way, the best show of the year is Ted Lasso. I don't care. If you don't like Ted Lasso, you've got a cold heart.
I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's on our list. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I have not watched a lot this year, but The Expanse, I'm excited for to finish I just haven't gotten through it yet. Let's see. I know
What's the one thing, Brock? What's the one thing that annoys you the most about The Expanse?
Annoys me the most about The Expanse?
Yeah.
There's not really much that annoys me about The Expanse.
You don't find it annoying how the Belters talk?
No. It's awkward at first.
Annoying.
It's awkward at first.
4 seasons, 5 seasons.
The Belta. You don't like how the Belta talk?
No,
What is wrong with you? The Belta talk like this.
Like
The Belta.
Random terrible accent.
The Belta. It's once you get used to it, you just go, yeah, okay, whatever, fine.
The Belta.
The Beltas. What was it?
Ryan, you don't get used to it.
Trying to think.
I sidetracked you.
Oh yeah, you get sidetracked all the time. You're just like, what came out this year? Like, yeah, I mean, watching.
What comic shows did you watch, man? Come on,
I watched most of the Marvel ones except for What If. I watched part of Why Last Man. I mean, it's pretty much just I just haven't watched a lot of stuff
okay.
that's
What you watched that you liked?
I will say the thing about why when it had all the hype getting ready to come out.
Yeah,
I waited, and when nobody said anything about Why the Last Man, I'm like, oh, I guess I don't need to get that platform.
Yeah. I mean, just same thing. Just I like the Marvel shows I watched. I like, for what we've already talked about it. I'm really not up on like all the big stuff that people are watching, like, Ted Lasso and Bridgerton or any of that stuff.
Well, those aren't based on comic books, so you don't have to talk about them.
I know, but not everything has to be about comics. Remember that?
Oh, Ted Lasso.
Your comic list, and then if you have some honorable mentions, you can put those in as well. If your comic list is done, then that's fine.
I mean, my comic list is done. There's not much else.
Okay.
We've already talked about all of it.
Then we can move on.
Oh, Lane asked me also, he's like, hey, what were the big books you bought, and what are you looking for in 2022? 2022, I'm down to 3 Silver Age books and 3 modern books.
Do you want to buy?
Yeah.
What are they?
Incredible Hulk #1.
It's a big one.
Journey into Mystery 83.
First Appearance of Thor. That's a big one.
And Tales to Astonish 13.
How's Tales to Astonish 13?
Groot.
Oh, yeah.
I've been looking for it for like 3 years, and it was like $600, and now it's like $3,500.
Yeah. Those are just one of those ones that they're so uncommon.
Yeah, it's just hard to get. And then modern books, the 3 that I'm looking for are the same 3 I've been looking for, but unfortunately they've also gone up in price, which is Ninja Turtles #1, first print. Albedo #2.
First
appearance of Usagi Yojimbo.
I love that book.
Didn't I ship off a bunch of those?
I don't.
To CGC?
I don't want to talk about it. I do want to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it.
Just poke that. So yeah.
And Cerebus #1. It's just all the #1s that I'm hunting for that I had as a kid, and
yeah.
I mean that bunch. Well, I didn't have Ninja Turtles because that's my neighbor John collected TMNT.
Yeah,
I got Usagi and Cerebus because we couldn't collect the same stuff.
It's good stuff
As a little kid, and I don't know where it is. It's gone. Don't know what happened to it.
Is Lane back?
So, Lane, where are you? Nope.
Is Lane back?
So,
Lane,
is he messaging at all?
No, he's there. Lane, you there? We can't hear you if you're there. He's muting and unmuting himself. We may have lost Lane. Well, Lane, when you come back, jump in. You there?
Great radio.
So that's
okay.
it.
I think we lost Lane.
Are we talking about movies?
Lane, when you are here, he's typing. Weird. Mike cut out for some reason. Okay. Try to reconnect your mic. If it doesn't work, I got the chat here. Just chat and let me know what's going on, Lane. Hopefully you can unplug the mic, plug it back in, see if it comes back in. We may have lost Lane. Lane, we're gonna continue mess around, see if you can get back in. We're almost done anyway. We're almost done anyway. It's okay. Technical difficulties. It's fine. We're doing it live.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So you got a couple of movies to choose from here.
Dude, huge.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Seen it.
Eternals.
Saw it.
Black Widow.
Yep.
Shang-Chi and the Legends of Ten Rings.
Yep.
The Suicide Squad.
Yep.
Zack Snyder's Justice League, not theatrical, but I'm counting it.
Yep.
And Spider-Man No Way Home. Those are your comic book movies for 2021. Well, what am I missing?
Kingsman.
That actually come out? Wait, did that come out?
Yeah. Saw it last weekend.
When did it come out? Like last week?
Might have been last week.
They made comics of Dune. Does that count?
Yeah.
I guess you can count that if you want.
So I liked Dune. I loved what Dune looked like.
Dune's fantastic.
Loved what it looked like. Liked Dune the movie. Loved what it looked like.
That Dune was great.
It was very, very, very ominous.
What's your favorite?
Oh, it's
Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like
you may be surprised. If we're gonna go 3, 2, 1 here, we're gonna go 3 is Suicide Squad. 3 was a lot of fun. Suicide Squad was a lot of fun. Just goofy, over the top, great action. Humor fit the movie, which was something that I did not feel in Guardians 2. This was it's unfortunate that HBO Max really, as great as to see the stuff online, it did greatly hurt the box office of the stuff, obviously, because people didn't pay to go see it. So hopefully Suicide Squad was considered enough of a success and enough of a boost for HBO Max subscribers that to make it worthwhile to do more with.
There's a Peacemaker fucking show coming out in but
they were filming that. They were filming that before the show. They were filming that before the movie even came out. So yeah, Peacemaker. I'm very, very excited for. Number 2. My number 2 is going to be Zack Snyder's Justice League. It is good. It is shockingly good. I cannot believe that it happened. It's real. It's there.
And it was that good.
And then it was that good.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to go surprising, the only thing that surprised me more was Spider-Man No Way Home. I'll give that number 1. It is just... They really pulled it off, and I had no faith in that movie doing that. Justice League, I didn't believe it even existed, right? And there's problems with it. It's far from a perfect movie, but it's very.
It is a far superior film to what we got.
Oh sure,
prior.
and I like it a lot. I like what they set up. Again, it's not flawless, but I definitely enjoyed it. No Way Home, they pulled off the impossible with that movie, and it's we'll keep spoilers light. It's still fairly new, and we've got our review episode from a few weeks ago. But No Way Home is very, very good. It's hard to top No Way Home. I think that's, for me at least, clear winner for the superhero movies. You guys are welcome to jump on and let me know what you think.
I think mine is pretty much the same. Far from No Way Home, solid. It was the movie that brought me back to the theaters. They took all of that content and made it work. And I think they understood what telling a proper story is, and kind of tying up those threads that were horrible in some aspects of Spider-Man, but keeping, not overplaying the really great stuff. Also expanding the stuff that was really great about Spider-Man. So I mean, that's honestly why it gets a top slot. Just Zack Snyder's Justice League. I mean, when we've got it from, the BVS extended, the differences we saw from the regular to that one, just you knew that there was a much better movie in there, and we just didn't get it, and we finally got it. So, and it felt like a completely different film, despite having seen, Whedon's Justice League, right? And just because it's Suicide Squad and it's fun, and Harley Quinn's in it, I gotta at least have her on the list. So Margaret Robbie as Harley Quinn.
It was fun. It was fun.
Which is much redeemed from the Birds of Prey movie. So, yeah. But Scott, yours?
Number 3 for me would have been Venom. Number 2 was Black Widow, and number 1 was The Eternals.
Wow. Eternals, huh?
That's on the bottom.
Oh, that's your bottom 3?
No, are you kidding?
I have a friend that thinks Eternals is like one of the best superhero movies of all time. So you're not.
Fine.
Yeah, I'll watch it next week when it's on Disney Plus.
It's fine.
Yeah. I was supposed to see it. I don't know if you know, Scott. I was supposed to see that movie at the new Sunnyvale Theater here next to my house.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I walked over, and they're like, "Yeah, it's not going to happen." I was like, "Okay, I'm watching this on Disney Plus for like."
It's fine. It's fine. No need to rush out and go see it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But nothing beats Spider-Man, and Suicide Squad was really good. And then third for me was probably Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I like Ghostbusters Afterlife. I like Kong versus Godzilla as my other ones.
I like Matrix. I like the Matrix Resurrection.
Oh, that's a conversation we can have off podcast.
No. Did you say you liked it?
Yeah, I liked it.
For what? The first 20 minutes? And then you were like, I don't understand why they went this direction.
No, I know why they went that direction.
The first 30 minutes was fine. And then after that, it was a piece of crap. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I enjoyed it.
Brock is not alone, but he is alone on this podcast. Matrix was very bad.
I don't care.
He had a whole Geekbox episode about this. You can go listen to that if you want to hear 3 people that really disliked it.
Did you like the first 30 minutes?
Not even really.
I thought the first 30 minutes was fine. It was good. You're like, okay, I can get behind this. And then I'm like, you guys are stupid. I'm sorry, Lana.
The one thing I did not like was the Hook-looking villains they were fighting when the spoiler Merovingian comes in, and I'm like half expecting one of them to scream Rufio, I was like, huh?
Okay, now Ryan, I don't know if you guys talked about this. The fight scenes were horrible.
Yeah, we sure did.
The old fight scenes were like 10 times better.
Yep.
Why would you do cut scenes and shaky cameras when the visuals from three of them were better as far as visuals.
They had just like again, I don't want to go on about this, but they did have like big weird group fights that you couldn't see anything, and it was just very, very bad. It's very bad.
Yeah,
we may have got Lane. Lane, can you hear us? Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey,
Lane's back.
Lane's here. I will edit you back in.
But Lane liked Matrix.
No,
it was okay. I didn't mind it. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best. But...
Lane, before we wrap up, why don't you give us a couple TV shows? And you're not a big TV guy, but you give us a couple TV shows if you saw anything, and then your favorite comic movies of 2021.
Yeah, I'm really behind on watching TV. Like, I just finished wrapping up the second seasons of all the Netflix shows, so that's how far back I am.
Good job.
But I did watch a few, so I would agree with most everybody. It's Lois and Clark, or whichever the new Superman show, whatever it's called. Stargirl was really good. I know it's a little weird choice, especially since it's like very anime-ish, but I actually I didn't. I think I would have done it a little different, but I did enjoy the Super Crook show.
Yeah, it's another Mark Miller joint.
Yep. Well, it was nowhere near as bad as Jupiter's Legacy or Jupiter's whatever it was. Even though they tried to incorporate it.
Yeah, that's the animated show, right?
Yeah, but it's actually done by like a Japanese anime studio.
Yeah.
Japanese voiceover, everything, and it was actually I enjoyed. Like, I thought it was really well done. It was a little slower than normal because it's a very anime-ish approach to the storytelling, and then they try to cut into that Miller sucker punch at the end kind of thing that he always does, or the grotesque stuff he always throws in.
Did somebody get slapped with a keyboard again?
No. Well, have you not read Super Crooks?
I've read it. It was okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you know about like how violent it gets at the very end.
Yes.
It's all there.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for the shows, and then I think movies. You pretty much there weren't a whole lot of movies to choose from. So
Are you serious? Lane, you could have chosen the following movies that I saw that were comic book or comic book genre related. The Snyder Cut, Justice League.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved that one.
Kingsman.
Haven't watched it.
Snake
I haven't
Eyes.
gone to a theater since Shang-Chi.
Snake Eyes. Mortal Kombat.
I was nervous.
Godzilla versus Kong.
That was worse.
Not comic movies.
Well,
hey! Mortal Kombat was okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
Was that 2021?
Yes, it was this
It
year.
was 2021.
And that was horrible.
Really?
It was not good.
Mortal
It was
Kombat?
horrible. Yeah.
This one?
Oh, I liked Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. It's not supposed to be good.
No, it's not supposed to.
Okay. Is this like your Venom approach to movies?
Yeah, it's
it makes fun of itself. It's okay.
I finally got a copy. I finally got a copy of Venom. I'm gonna watch it.
It's very silly. Kong Godzilla 2 was, definitely far from perfect. But if you wanted to see King Kong and Godzilla, there you go. Like, I don't expect too much from these.
Lane, did you see Ghostbusters?
Nope. Like I said, I haven't been to a theater since Shang-Chi.
Matrix, Dune, 007. I could give a big spoiler out for that, but I'm not going to do it in case you watch it.
I've heard the spoilers.
I loved... Okay, you ready for this? Here's a video game one. I loved Free Guy.
I mean,
loved it. Loved it.
I mean, fake video game, but sure.
It's a video. Come on, Ryan. It's right up your alley.
No.
He doesn't Grand Theft Auto.
He just likes Mortal Kombat instead.
Yeah.
And then all the Marvel ones.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen either, except Shang-Chi and Black Widow.
Eternals?
I haven't seen it. I haven't been to a theater since Shang-Chi.
Venom?
Nope.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I've only seen things that were released on streaming.
Yeah.
We got to get you in a bubble and roll you out there, Lane, safely.
I don't know.
Lane, you were at a comic book show where there was people elbow to elbow. I saw you there.
Yes. Sadly, yeah, I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, I don't know either. That was early too.
But no thanks. I'll wait for it to be hit the streaming and I'll watch. Like, I'm waiting for January. Some good stuff to watch.
Well, that's Eternals, right? I mean, that's all. Yeah. I'm curious. Yep.
I mean, it's helped me catch up on Titans. I still need to catch up on Doom Patrol, but slowly catching up on shows. And then I've been watching some random Netflix shows too, though. A lot of off non-comic shows.
Like what?
A bunch of the I guess they would be considered K-dramas, the Korean dramas, but more toward the I like the ones that are more about the like bad guys getting revenge kind of thing. So there's like one called Bad Guys and one called Vincenzo. It's basically about like people using the law to kind of twist it back and forth to actually get back at people who deserve to be punished.
Nice, get him, Lane.
So I've been really enjoying those. Which, yeah,
looking on Lane's bad side.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. That was a year. It's comics and movies, some TV shows. We will have our comic charts in the next episode, hopefully. I think Charlie should be on. I'm trying to get Toby back on. Whatever the hell he gets his schedule figured back out. We are going to wrap up now. Thank you, Scott and Kevin and Lane, for coming on. Hopefully we have a good 2022 and lots of fun stuff to talk about. We will keep you guys updated with all the good news. We'll let you know what we think about the movies and shows as they come out. All sorts of stuff to talk about. Let's thank our Patreon backers, Joe Duff, Kelsey May, Craig Anderson at clearpathcoaches.com, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, and Talon Bray. Thank you all very much.
Thank you
for your support through 2021. Mm-hmm. Head over to comicconspiracypodcast.com, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify for all our previous episodes. And of course, you can go to patreon.com/comicconspiracy to kick us $1 or $3. We do appreciate it greatly.
5. Go 5.
You can do that too. If you go to comicsconspiracy.biz, that is our storefront where we sell comic books, shipping stuff all the time.
The shipping never stops.
Doesn't be a lot of stuff this year to ship. Got some good stuff coming. A lot of Elaine's been helping it out. We got some good stuff up on our eBay store. A lot of good sets and
we got some CGC books too.
Some CGC stuff. Yeah. Go to conspiratorBrock.com. ConspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's blog. Pull list videos, unboxing videos. Whenever it's got the time, that's all up over on there. Charlie's recording a new Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast as we speak to catch everyone up on Doctor Who talk. And Kevin Sharp has the weekly interview series called Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com. And don't forget my wife, Leanne. She's over at leannehill.com, and she has an Etsy store where you can buy some of her artwork and commissions at etsy.com/shop/LeanneHillArt. If you go to Twitter, you can follow all of us. Ryan Higgins Ryan is me. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp. The store is Comics Con Store. And don't forget about Geekbox, which I'm on every other week. Talk about all sorts of other nerdy stuff, a lot of video games. And our good friends over at Manga Machinations. I've been on that a couple times. Okay, 2022's already here and rolling. We're going to stop this episode and post it.
Off to a good start. I hope. I don't know.
I hope. We'll see. It's going to be a year. It's going to be a big, busy year like it always is. Let's see what happens. Goodbye, everyone.